morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope the start of your week has been going great. Welcome back to my channel. We are studying the Proverbs Wife today. This is the first episode of the first series that I'm doing on my channel, so let's get right into it. The Proverbs Wife has been something I've really been interested in studying lately. It's just been very time consuming and I haven't been able to find the time for it, but this week I've been able to find some time for it, and quite honestly, there's so much information in there. That is why I've decided to make a little mini-series. So just starting off, these are some personifications, some just things that make a wife a Proverbs wife. You know, these are ways that we should all try to live, things we should all try to be. Now, don't see this as a challenge, see this as a series of possibilities, things that can happen, that you can be, you can do, with just a little bit of discipline, some prayer, and walking with God and Jesus in the correct path. Now, a Proverbs wife, she's loving, graceful, she's satisfying for her husband. She's noble. Now this is mentioned as she is a treasure. She is noble. She is her husband's crown, and she is worth more than rubies when you have a noble wife. She's not quarrelsome, and she lacks no value. She has her husband's full confidence, and she brings good to her husband, not harm, all the days of her life. She wakes when it's still dark, and she works with eager hands. She provides food for her family, and she spends her money wisely. That's something that I'm struggling with, just because I'm so used to living with all these worldly things like Amazon and, Instacart, things that just are complete instant satisfaction things, which aren't good for your brain. So that's something that I'm definitely trying to work on, spending the money wisely. I'm getting more of the mindset of I like to see how much money I can not spend, if that makes sense. But moving on. She sets about her work vigorously, and she helps the poor and the needy. She's described as being clothed with strength and dignity. That's something interesting that I really want to start looking into more, because I'm curious to know what clothes you with strength and dignity, like how she got to that point of her life. I'd like to know that. She speaks with wisdom. She watches over all of her household affairs, and she is not idle. And she fears the Lord. Now, I should have put that as the number one thing, but we will see later on that there's a reason why fearing the Lord is number one. Now, I've kind of grouped these all into, certain slides, just because going through every single one in a slide would be way too time consuming, tedious, and quite honestly, I'd probably lose your interest going halfway through this. So I just decided to group them into their own little categories here, because it all just makes sense with them being together like this. And quite honestly, everything grouped together just makes sense after you read Proverbs. So loving, graceful, and satisfying. That is how the wife is described. Satisfying for her husband, might I add. Such relationships like this are most effective in preventing infidelity. That means that she is enough. She is meeting all of her husband's needs. He does not need to go seek anything elsewhere. He doesn't have to worry about if his needs are going to be met, if food's going to be on the table, if he's going to be satisfied in the bedroom. He doesn't have to worry and stress about those things, because he knows that he can count on his wife to be loving, graceful, and satisfying for him. A Proverbs wife is noble. A noble wife is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her, and she lacks nothing of value. She brings him good and not harm all the days of her life, which indicates her faithful commitment to him, her vows to him for life. Until death do us part, she will take care of him and bring him nothing but good. A noble wife is described as a treasure. She is not quarrelsome. A quarrelsome wife is like the constant dripping of a leaky roof, which being quarrelsome is an ingredient of a tragic and a miserable home. If people are constantly starting issues, constantly looking for something to fight about, it's not going to be a happy home. It's not going to be a happy place to go and retreat at the end of the day, which that can drive a man away. Just like the drops from a constantly leaking roof would drive someone to seek a quiet place to sleep. Think about it like that for a minute. I had to sit there and sit with that for a minute. It makes sense. If you're sleeping in a room and all you hear all night is the drop, 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 drip, drip, drip of 1,000 little holes in the roof, it's gonna drive you crazy after a while. You're gonna want somewhere quiet, somewhere to go where you can rest, where figuratively your soul is at peace. It can rest there. If your wife is quarrelsome, if we are quarrelsome with our husbands, he is not getting rest when he comes home. He is constantly on guard. More stress is put on him. We should not be quarrelsome. We should be peaceful for our husbands. A Proverbs wife, she wakes when it's dark and works with eager hands. This woman, she is industrious. She seeks out provisions for her family. She wakes up when it's dark. She starts in the morning, early riser. She provides food, income, and wisely invests in her profits. It describes her as she bought land to plant a vineyard on it. She doesn't just buy things to buy things. She buys things for a purpose. The purpose is to take care of her family, which glorifies God. And a Proverbs wife, she fears the Lord. Rather than fearing man or anything on this world, she fears the Lord, which results in her receiving praise from those around her and results in blessings from the Lord as well. It mentions in the Bible that fearing the Lord is the foundation for wisdom. It is the prerequisite for obedience and the accompaniment of love. Now, some people get this confused, to fear the Lord. I had to really think about what that meant because it kind of confused me at first too. Why would the Lord want us to be scared of him? Because we equate fear with being scared, being terrified, terror. No, that's not what God wants for us. That is not his definition of fear. Fearing the Lord is being submissive to the Lord, walking in the direction he wants you to walk, not straying away from him, not going our own way, being respectfully obedient to the Lord, talking to the Lord when we are confused and we don't know what to do. Being submissive is being obedient, not listening to our own wills, which is very hard to do these days because everybody says you should listen to your heart, listen to your brain, listen to what you want to do. No. Talk to the Lord. Listening to yourselves is going to get you even more confused. It might work for a little bit, but then you're going to sit at a crossroad. You're going to be like, how did I get here? It's because you're doing your own will. You're not listening to what the Lord wants you to do. Now, this marks the end of my little slideshow here. The virtuous wife of Proverbs, she's a rare woman. She's a paragon of virtue. She's trustworthy, industrious, organized, and loving. Her husband completely trusted her. Her children voluntarily praised her, which is a big thing. And her home was a model of efficiency. I forgot the R in her at the end there, so don't go for me. I do see it. I do see it. I didn't prove this apparently well enough. But I want to I want to end this off by just reading this out of my Bible, The Virtuous Wife, Proverbs. Many outstanding godly women appear throughout the Bible, but the virtuous wife described here merits special praise. This woman, although she's not an actual woman, she's rather an ideal to be realized. Something we should look out to as wives or mothers. She's something we should seek to be. She's sought after. For centuries, women have been amazed and challenged by her example. She does not just represent a challenge, but rather a series of possibilities, like I said earlier. She displays many qualities, an astonishing array of activities and accomplishments available to those seeking godly womanhood. So it is achievable. It is achievable, y'all. The passage describes what kind of wife a woman should be and what kind of woman a man should choose to marry. This rare woman is a paragon of virtue. She reached out to her community, helped the poor, increased her family's resources through the wise investments and her productive management. Her beauty was not merely outward. She embodied true wisdom. The portrait of the virtuous wife closes with the key to her success. Illustrating the theme of wisdom found through Proverbs, this woman first feared and reverenced God. Therefore, their relationships and responsibilities were wisely balanced. She exemplified the truth spoken by Jesus Christ when he said, But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. A close look at this woman can prove invaluable in helping every woman set her own priorities in managing the time, resources, and giftedness God has given each and every one of us. And that concludes today's little mini-series on the wife in Proverbs. Now, like I said, I will be doing this little mini-series every Monday here, just a little bit more, every week, a little bit of information, because if we start getting into this too much, it's going to be overwhelming and it's going to be a lot of information. So, I hope y'all enjoyed today. Like and subscribe if you want to be notified of when I upload more videos. I am trying to figure out how to do live streaming, but quite honestly, I stutter a lot, I mess up a lot, so it's just kind of easier for me to do it this way, pre-recorded. But go ahead and if you felt this today, comment amen down below. I will go ahead and link what Bible I use to study, because honestly I love this. It is a woman's study Bible. I will go ahead and link it down below if you guys are interested in studying as well, and kind of reading along. So y'all have a great rest of your week. God bless, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.